We are live on the Virtual Grip Network, and we're in for a treat as we step into the eighth wonder of the world and cross over the bricks for week 22 of the OBRL YesterYear Racing Cup Series. YesterYear, where past meets present. I'm Zach Chapman, a.k.a. Shaggy, along with my partner in crime, John Hine, and we're lucky enough to have the heartbeat of UGN bringing us all the sights and sounds, one and only Ryan Seneker. Last week, the boys rolled into the Dover Motor Speedway, where we saw everything from pile-ups to first-time winners. Track temps around 120 degrees. Drivers knew that they would be fighting the monster as much as they were fighting each other. And after a few early spins, it looked like we could be in for a long night. But as always, these drivers prove they can overcome anything and led us to green flag pit stops. Two late cautions proved to be the difference, though, as leader Josh Robinson made a pit stop while leading, but was caught in traffic and led to eventual contact with race winner Greg McDaniel. Greg had a big run coming out of turn 4, which led to the contact going down the straightaway, resulting in a green-white checkered finish. It was with 2 laps to go that Greg McDaniel stole the show and fired his rocket ship to the high side and launched himself into the OBRL playoffs in style, passing current point leader Greg MacArthur. Now, with that being said, while Greg and his team were celebrating, there were some teams near the cutoff line that are really starting to sweat because playoff spots, John, are starting to run out with 5 weeks to go. Alan Wanamaker and Luke Lane find themselves in the battle for the final spot, separated by a mere 3 points. And, well, honestly, I had this written today. Neither of those guys showed up here tonight, so that's going to stay at 3 points. And now we'll insert the 77 here of Roger Hurley. Man, he's got a lot he could gain here tonight. If not, I mean, maybe we crown a first-time winner. But let's set the stage and turn on the lights because it's time to go 85 laps around the Brickyard here in Indianapolis. John, arguably the most famous racetrack here in North America, and arguably the best group of drivers on this iRacing sim. I mean, we talk about them all the time. What do you expect to happen around this 2.5-mile raceway that is Indianapolis Motor Speedway?
Oh, the IMS is, for a lot of folks, especially, somebody that grew up here in the Midwest, this is the mecca of motorsports for a lot of us here. I mean, I know Daytona can be argued that, just like Monaco over there, Silverstone over across the pond there. But yeah, Indianapolis is just an awesome facility and top-notch. Roger Penske owned nowadays, but what we can expect on the track here is, you know what? This is going to be an interesting test. Something I don't think they've really had to do that much of. This track is all going to be about timing. If you want to make passes, you've got to time your runs right. Almost got to start setting up the pass in the short chute at the north and south end of the track. Once you get into turns 2 or 4, that's where you want to start closing up that guy and be able to carry that run down these long front and back stretches here. Make that run, get to their inside, and complete the pass going into the next turn. That's going to be the way to go. And I tell you, that's, like I said, you're playing chess here tonight. You're thinking a move or two ahead to get things done here. So, watch these guys, get about 40 laps on a tank of gas, maybe 41, 42 if they can stretch it. Guys that might be able to hit the 43 can hit one stop it. So watch for some interesting strategy. And then also, real fast, pit road. Watch this. Long pit road, access road getting on. We could see trouble there too.
Yeah, this is going to be a tricky one here, getting on and off pit road. And, we're not going to bring the points up here because, truthfully, qualifying almost over. So we'll be bringing up a grid here soon. But, I touched on it. I was going to mention Wanamaker and Luke Lane in that battle. But, John, I mean, there are no shows here tonight. So, I brought up Roger Hurley. I mean, 33 points out of that cutoff line. Is this something? I mean, could this be the night? Could Roger put himself back in the playoffs? We'll find out as we bring up the starting grid. You see guys loading up there on the front stretch. Oh, man, right there on the bricks. Great camera angle, Ryan. Starting on the pole in that 78, Courtney Nelson. To the outside, the trash man, Daniel Hill.
Well, and you talked about it being an opportunity race for this man starting third. That's at 77 of Roger Hurley. He can see the front. I think his big goal tonight is just to continue to stay up there, gather as many points as what he can. Tom Ogle will start to his outside in the 4th starting position.
And Andrew Medlin really enjoying this 2-digit number. He likes starting up towards the front. Going to start on the inside of row 3 to the outside. Defending champion Josh Robinson.
Brian McRae is going to roll off 2nd next to the 97. I don't believe we've seen him yet this season, but it's a 97 of Nick Zotner.
Brian Lynch rolls off on the inside of row 5 to the outside, the 00 of Lloyd Moore.
Kelvin Mosier is going to roll off 11th and the 12th. Today's guest on the podcast. Good to see him out there, 06, but tune in Tuesday to see Andy Thomas.
Row 7 to the inside, Wayne Hufford to the top shelf, Fred Wolf.
Bill Martin in the number 18 is going to start next to the number 73 of Torrance Childs.
Crisco lines up on the inside of row 9. That's Robert Borisco to the top shelf, Tommy Embassy.
Starting 19th will be Lonnie Corey, and next to him, lucky Larry Corey and all Corey, 10th row.
And those are your final qualifiers as well. Andrew Kotska now going to line up on the inside of row 11 to the outside. Last week's winner, Greg McDaniel.
Jerry Isaacs and Scott Negus are going to roll off 23rd, 24th.
Row 13 to the inside, the 81 of Chris Bates to the outside, James Hislop.
Clay Walker and Ben Shepard are going to be 27th, 28th.
Michael Everhart lines up on the inside of row 15 to the top shelf, Mark Fish.
Eric McClusty, 31st. Gavin Adams, 32nd.
Brian Lindsay lines up on the inside of row 17 to the top shelf, the Hammer, Greg Hammond.
Patrick Martindale is going to roll off 35th, and a couple of housekeeping notes. Sean Foltz, not on the grid. Then we have last week after the chaos, there is a lot of EOLs, so bear with me. I'm going to roll through these quickly. Andrew Koska, EOL. Jerry Isaacs, EOL. Scott Negus, Ben Shepard, Eric McCluskey, Brian Lindsay, Gavin Adams, Patrick Martindale, Greg McDaniel, Chris Bates, James Hislop, and Clay Walker. So a lot of guys going to the back.
Yeah, lots and lots of penalties. That Monster Mile, John, didn't prove to be very friendly. I think, it wasn't really fair, though, with those track temps, I don't think.
Yeah, Miles a monster up there definitely chewed up some cars last week.
Let's see here, we roll into 3 here for the final time at Ace Speeds. This is where I think we'll see the majority of passing, John. Wouldn't you say maybe going into 1? But I think the most we'll see guys setting up people going down the backstretch.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, like I said, the short chutes on both sides of the track, the north and south side of the track, that's where you want to set up your passes. You want to get runs down these long straightaways and set them up to the next corner here. But I think you're right. I think most of them are going to come over in turn 3.
Let's see what happens here as the pace car pulls off. Courtney Nelson drives that furniture row 78 to the green flag. It's set away. 85 trips around the brickyard, and we're ready to go play. Good jump there for Daniel Hill. John, he may be able to go down, shut the door. Can't do it, still side by side.
Yeah, you got to be careful. Colder tires and everything else. I know track temp's 113 degrees here at green flag, but you know what? You get out there too high, and that's right there. Dan Hill got loose, and around he goes. I was just about to say that's a danger.
He's still sliding, no caution. He's down on the inside. Don't think he's going to get one here, unless it's maybe a little funky as he pulls up the racetrack. No, green flag green flag still waving. And now it's allowed a man who, these past couple weeks, John, hasn't necessarily gone his way. I think he's missed a race or 2 as well, but Tom Ogle, that STP machine right back up towards the front.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you. I'm starting to kind of wonder if Dan's not doing that on purpose, spinning out, because he seems to always have something go up and then spots the field a few laps, and then he starts picking them all up and then ends up back up front again. So I think that's just kind of what he does.
Yeah, he just needs me to say something about counting him out, but I'm not willing to do that anymore.
No.
Because as you said, it just keeps happening and happening. You're watching this Rusty's machine. Bill Martin now taking a peek on the inside below him. And you got to think about a lap and a half. You know, the tires starting to get warm, John. This is when you can start to, you know, maybe hustle that car a little more.
Yeah, you know, out there practicing with them, these cars actually are pretty planted with the exception out of turn 4. And, you know, I think there's a little bit of wind that's getting up behind these cars, getting them loose on turn 4. So we're going to have to keep an eye on over there. But around the track, as long as you don't overdrive the car or get back on the throttle too early, the cars are really in the track here. It's been kind of a departure over the last couple of weeks, kind of what I felt on track. Both of which, if you do overdrive or get back on the throttle, car wants to push very, very quickly.
And, you know, John, you mentioned, too, some of those end-of-line penalties. Some of them, including last week's winner, had to drive through the pits as well. And at a large track here, like Indianapolis, you notice they're not going to lose that lap. I mean, they need a caution, but I think, you know, if you're going to have a penalty like that, I mean, this is the place you want on the bingo card here if you got to serve it.
Oh, 100%. You know, yeah, you can do that if you have problems, all that kind of good stuff. I mean, yeah, this is a track that you can get in there.
Can't tell here what's happening. Was that
Lonnie Corey
here? That is a tough break. That red machine. I couldn't tell if maybe got the wall. Go down the back there. It doesn't look like it. I do a quick rewind, but didn't like something going to come in. And like I say, John, if you're going to have a mistake, I mean, you're probably not going to lose that lap now, but he's going to need a caution.
Yeah, he's going to need it, and depending on how much work he's got to get done. So if he did tap a wall, he's going to need some help probably with that caution and fast, because I think if you do any work, you will lose the lap.
And I see jacking it up, or he actually just disconnected, I believe. So hopefully everything good there with Lonnie, but he got a disconnect. And well, John, we've said it once, say it 1,000 times, motor problems, they happen.
Yep, absolutely. So you know what, he'll have to kind of come back. Maybe, you never know, he could reconnect a little bit later in the race. So we'll have to see.
I'm scanning around here. I can tell our producer is too, trying to find some side-by-side. But, John, they've settled down. I think they've seen a couple people slip and slide, and they realize, oh, we get a caution flag. What is this caution for? Looks like I'm hearing Patrick Martindale, possibly. Have to see if we can possibly get a view of this. The 93 just gets loose there. Is that coming out of one? It is. Definitely weird, and our producer has the same opinion as I do. You know, that brings out a caution, but Daniel Hills, his doesn't, and you can tell. I mean, he fought that thing a while. It looks like right there he's got it saved. No, cuts back down, and that's the hard hit right into the outside wall.
Martindale wrestled that car for quite a while, and it all started way back in turn 1. He was pretty high. I'm going to assume probably overdrove the corner a little bit and got out of the groove. And they're marbles, just like you see in real life. You know, marbles that accumulate out there, and if you get in them, guess what? Your car doesn't turn, just like what you see on Sundays when you're watching the Fox or TNT broadcast or wherever you might be watching.
Well, John, you wanna pick somebody? Or I'll pick somebody out here. Let me pick somebody out. Who do we want to talk to? Let's see. Right, you want to talk to Hurley? Okay, Hill? All right, let's do it. Because that is what he needed. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. Hey, Daniel, Booth Boy's up here, man. You got a copy?
Yeah, what's up, bud?
Well, obviously not the way we want to start that thing, but if you ever go back and watch these things, I always count you out, man, and you drive this thing right back to the front. This is probably the first time you've had a caution help you out after this mistake. You think you got the pace to drive this thing back towards the front?
Not here. I'm okay here. I might get up into the top 10, but I would be kind of surprised. I got some damage too. I got to see how bad the car is.
Okay, yeah, actually, John. Well, I don't mean to skip you here, but we'll kick him out. He's going down pit road. He's going to do a repair. I don't want to be the reason here for him overshooting this. Good luck here, Daniel. Go get him.
Yeah, thanks, bud.
Yeah, it's a good call. We don't want to mess with the guys when we're coming down pit road.
Yeah, I honestly, I thought I waited. I thought I was a step ahead of the game. I thought I waited till they went by pit
Well,
road.
real quick, why don't we pull Roger Hurley in? We got some time here.
Yeah, might as well. Yeah, they aren't even the one to go. It's a good idea. We'll make
Yeah,
Ryan earn his pay.
2.5 mile track. We can do this.
Hey, Roger, Shaggy up in the booth, man. You got a copy?
Yeah, I've got you, Shaggy.
I'll tell you what, there's two guys in front of you. They decided they needed a vacation. They took the night off. We're 33 points behind that cutoff line. Can we get it done tonight?
Well, it's a long way to go yet, obviously, but just gonna try to ride and stay out of trouble and see what happens, right?
That's all you can do. What do you got here for him, John?
Hey, Roger, I tell you, I'm sure you're well aware of the point situation here, but you can also see the front here. So, are we going for the trophy, or are we going for the points here tonight?
These guys are tough out here. Really, if I could just point well and just pick away at it, I think it's probably my only real option, to be truthful.
Well, I tell you what, I've seen you have a lot of pace over the last few weeks, so don't sell yourself short. Right circumstance, you got to be up in the position to take these things, and running third, that puts you in position. So, hey, good luck here, and hopefully we get to talk to you here a little later on.
All right, thanks, John. Take care.
Yep, you're welcome. It's Roger Hurley, our third place runner here, so he's got his mind on points, but I'll tell you, Zach, you know this as well as I do, and I'm not saying that Roger's going to get greedy, but something about race car drivers, and if they can sniff the front and have that opportunity to win a race, it'd be tough to be disciplined and not try to take it, though, don't you think?
Oh, yeah, especially when, we've seen people drop connections every now and then, we call motor problems, but anything can happen in the real world. You can have something come up, and that's all going through Roger's head. If he could just knock those two guys off and win this thing, I mean, he's locked in. The pressure's off. So I agree with you, John. I think, it's easy to want to talk points, but, man, when you're that close, it's tough to turn that switch off.
Yeah, the pace car does have its lights out here. So all these guys now have ran a few laps. They kind of know what they have in their car. So you also know that these restarts, if you're going to make some passes, this is an opportunity to get a few spots. So you combine that with knowing what your car is going to do. We might be in for a treat here on this restart.
Yes, we might. And it's going to be interesting to see, too. I mean, and Tom Ogle maybe make the aggressive move on the outside here now that the tires are warmed up. I think that 11, I think he knows better, John. He doesn't start racing until there's probably about 25 to go in this one, I'd say.
Yeah, I would say probably closer to 10 or 15. I mean, you got to remember 2.5 miles. I mean, that's still 30 miles from the finish. That's still a long, long time on this big old track. So, it'd be interesting too. I can't wait to see how the tire wear kind of unfolds here this afternoon. You run it hard here. You do put a lot of stress on that right front tire. So, a lot of things you got to do and navigate to get to the end of this thing.
We're a long ways from the end of this thing. As we take the green flag here, we'll be on lap 9 of 85. I imagine from John and I talking before the race, we expect this thing to be a 2-stopper. So, did maybe someone who just pit here, John, could they go one more time? Would it be close as that?
I would say the guys that stayed out, these caution laps improve the gas mileage. I think maybe this caution one more, I'd start feeling pretty good about just trying to one-stop this thing.
I'll have to see if that's in the driver's mind, maybe saving fuel as the green flag waves. We're back underway. Great jump there by Courtney, and now whole battle here for second early. Maybe you were right, John. It's hard. I mean, you're right there. You got to go for it.
Yeah, he's in position here. You just kind of you don't want to do anything aggressive, but just hit your marks there on the bottom. And Ogle is going to have to either make that work on the outside, or he might have to give up on it and try a little later, but they get in the line here pretty quickly.
Yeah, Ogle able to hold him off, and now Tom with that big run off of 2. Does he maybe take a look here? Doesn't want to. Just going to ride around, and I'm honestly, kind of surprised. Now, I agree with Tom's style, very cautious, where we mentioned he'll wait till possibly as late as 10 to go here. Maybe if you're Tom, let that 77 go on by, start battling with the leader, and, you just sit there and eat your popcorn.
You could, but I mean, if you can run there and not use your stuff up, you might as well just stay there. I mean, you know, there. I mean, I don't see the 77 trying to look for a way around them. Well, we got one out of shape in the back. Able to save it, no caution. It looks like it's the 73.
Yeah, it looked like maybe got a little bump there from Andrew Kotska. I couldn't tell. Andrew definitely collected in it a little bit, but able to keep it straight. And, man, turn 2, that has been nasty, John. I mean, we've seen guys fumble coming out of 1 going into 2. I want to say that's the 3rd time now with Daniel Hill.
Yeah, Torrance Childs there got out of the line there, but yeah, Daniel Hill did it on the opening lap here, and I think it just comes
and then
from
we saw
run
Martindale wreck there too. So yeah, that's 3 times that I would have never guessed. I told you I thought turn 4 was going to be the trick.
Well, I did too, because traveling out there when I was out there driving around here, 4 felt like I had the less grip on the car. So these guys are pushing, and that could also be if that wind is pushing that car down the front stretch. Guys are just carrying more speed than what they anticipate when they get to the corner.
Watching guys kind of trying to knife their way through. That's Bill Martin, Chris Bates. Now we got Kotska. Couldn't tell if he was making a move or going down there to push. Looks like he's thought about helping. Is that Jerry Isaacs out? It is. They were almost 3 wide. Oh my gosh, John, we're only on lap 11.
Yeah, Jerry was smart to roll out of that, but what happened is the 30 kind of overdrove the corner now, and it's kind of given the position to the 51. They were kind of playing chicken with each other. Who was going to live first going down there to turn 1? Or turn 3, sorry.
Hislop now thinking about taking a peek in that 92 machine. Can't do it. Can't get underneath.
Oh, Kotska, big shot into the wall.
Yes, it was. Kotska, hard shot into the
wall.
He broke
something. Yeah, he broke that car. He hit it there in the short chute and then went to turn 2. That car did not turn at all.
No, and this is where, you know, we wish iRacing could throw that caution, because it's going to be nasty for Kotska to try to get back to pit road here safely, but he's going to have to try to find a way to do it.
Kotska's going to have a hard time navigating 3 and 4. He's got that car almost, you know, he's down to, 90 mile an hour to make that corner.
I believe that's Larry Corey. You don't see many moves there through turn 4.
Oh, we got one on pit road sideways.
Oh,
that is Hammond, Greg Hammond.
The Hammer. Yes, he is sitting sideways, just straightens it up on pit road. He got loose coming off of 4. And oh my gosh, John, that could have been so much worse. Oh man, the fact that he barely tapped the wall with that left rear, what a job by Greg Hammond. That could have been nasty.
Yeah, we got another side-by-side battle back in the pack here. Looking at the 17 right now and the 24, they're side-by-side going. Oh, and the 24 way up out of the groove. Had to get way out of it there to keep that car from going around. That's a nice job by Brian Lindsay.
Daniel Hill now to the outside here, but he's going to run into a roadblock. He's got a big run, nowhere to go. Maybe a little bump draft in there going down the front stretch here over the bricks. And last week's winner, Greg McDaniel, that Cartoon Network machine. Look at him just trying to inch his way up into this. And Daniel gets run up the hill, though. Boy, oh boy.
Yeah, Andy Thomas, this week's guest on the podcast here. You know, we talked about this very thing about running down these long straights and playing chicken with each other. Who lives first getting to the corners? This is a great conversation, and looks like Hill's going to take the battle here and win this one and move on here.
Yeah, and I mean, it's okay playing chicken here these opening couple laps, but when you start to test your stuff here towards the end of a late run, oh my gosh, you don't know how much grip you have left. So you got to have the fun while there's still tread on the sneakers, I'd imagine.
Yeah, and there's a lot of racing going on. Jerry Isaacs to the inside of Robert Garisco here. And, well, Zach, guys that are just not on the bottom of the track, I'm watching. They have to completely get out of the car or they're going to knock the fence down. Big slides, up in that second groove. So it looks like if you overdrive the corner even just a little bit, you're going to pay for it for a half a lap easily.
Now, is that because obviously we do have banking here in Indianapolis, but
Very little, but
not
yeah.
as much as as that's what I was going to say. Is it because we don't have as much banking as we're used to? Is that what affects that?
No, that's strictly because the groove is right down on the yellow or white line, and there's just marbles up there. Guys don't go up there with any kind of consistency, so there's just no grip up there, no rubber being laid down, and like I said, the marbles are actually accumulating at about that point. I can almost just see it. You got about a lane and a half width that I think you have to work with in the corners, and then after that, good luck to you in getting that car turned right.
Daniel here trying to look under Gavin Adams, I believe. I think that's the 30 machine. Is Daniel, it is. Daniel able to go up and shut the door here. And you got to think, that's somebody who I know Daniel maybe not so confident in his ability here at this racetrack, but that's a guy who, if he goes on by you, that's somebody who you want to latch onto and maybe try to learn a thing or two as he drives on by.
Oh, 100%. And, we probably should go back up and at least talk about the leader briefly. We saw Hammond there, spin earlier where the leaders have caught him. And Tom Ogle's just kind of hanging out back there. But, Courtney Nelson has really got control of this race right now. And this guy in Big Super Speedway, I watched him handle his business on a small dirt track on Friday. This guy is a good all-around driver.
Yeah, he really is, and he's, had some rather unfortunate luck. I mean, at least he's won twice, so he's going to find himself in the playoffs, and, man, if it goes his way, he might be adding a third to it because he is looking good right now, but you just never really know with that 11 just laying in the weeds right there as we see the 71. He may have just got a pass done on the high side. Couldn't tell if possibly that green machine behind him may be lifted going in, but here comes that 71, and that's Michael Everhart, I believe. We saw Michael a little bit at the beginning of the season. Good to see Michael back out here with us.
Yeah, but he's got my number, Zach.
That's true. That's true. No one ever has 72. I think that's why I picked it as a child. Just no one ever uses it. It's pretty much available at every league I go to. You just got unlucky with the 71.
Yeah, and I mean, he's doing good with this number here, and I don't know if he's been running elsewhere or whatnot, but he hasn't been here, so he's still probably shaking some cobwebs off, kind of getting back in the swing of things here. So you never know what will happen here the second half of the race.
That's Clay Walker, just got the pass done. Here's Greg McDaniel trying to keep working his way up. That's around Andy Thomas in the 06. Andy just gets swallowed up here, drops right in line. Now, right now, let's trying to see James Hislop, man. I know, we did have some penalties, but 16 spots, John. That's a pretty good run here in only 19 laps.
100%. He's picking them up, laying them down, and we didn't see where he started on these start and restarts, but being on that inside, that's got to gain you a few spots, and I'm sure that doesn't tell the whole story for him. So he's timing those runs right and moving up through the field.
Now, not that I want to jinx this here, John, but maybe start something here. What happens if we have a caution right now? Are you coming down pit road? You getting 4 fresh tires here?
Oh, man. You know what? I would wish I would have a genuine professional crew chief, because that's a good question. Because you can't make it to the end here. But you could probably make up a whole lot of ground, though. But, I think I'd probably opt to stay out for just a little bit longer.
Yeah, I think you have to, especially if you're out front. If you're towards the back, maybe it makes your decision a little easier. Possibly Daniel Hill, if he didn't take tires the last time he came down pit road, if he only, repaired that damage, maybe now's when you try to make up some time. But, oh boy, I don't think you can bring me down pit road until I know I only have to stop one more time. I think I want to go as long as I can.
Yeah, I don't think I would bring the car in any time before lap 40. But you know what? Some guys may do it and try to two-stop it. You know, if you've used up your tires and all that, but if you can get good tire wear out of this thing and get to that lap 40 mark, you know, 41, you know, that's what I do. And Koska's coming out of the pits now.
Yeah,
Saw him get into the wall earlier, pretty good.
Yeah, that's surprising. You know, not that I encourage drivers to pack it up, but you know, being a couple laps down, this is not going to be the easiest racetrack to get yourself back on the lead lap. But if anybody could do it, man, it's that 40 of Andrew Kotzka, that's for sure here. Got a big run there on the inside. Now we shift up the battle here. Believe that's Briscoe on the outside. Who is that on the inside in that 69? Ben Shepherd. Ben going to get it done here. And now Gavin Adams going to try to join the parade here in that 30 machine.
And the one's kind of pushing the 28, but boy, look at the 20. He pushed the 28 way too far into that corner. Not anything the one did, but that 28 was carrying so much speed at the end of the corner. He almost didn't make that corner.
Yeah, I wonder if Crisco pulled the belts tight real quick there, if that scared him, because, man, he sent that thing in, and now they're both going to lose spots to those guys. McDaniel's still stuck in line. Let's see if he drives in deep here. Going to maybe take a peek. Crisco's been floating up, leaving the bottom open. He's trying to entice that. Here we go. McDaniel now going to look here. Low in 4. Look at Andy Thomas now. He wants a bite of that pie. He's going to go by 2. Way to capitalize there for Andy Thomas.
I think the 28 probably heated those tires up slightly, missing turn 1 there that last time through, and I think is able to made it a little harder for him to hold the bottom, it looked like.
You got to wonder, Andy Thomas, man, if he ran that 24 hours at Spa, John, because the way he just set that up, I mean, that was a road course racer. He just let those guys battle. He said, I'll pick you guys off here when you go to the high side. That's a good move, and that's how you make your tires last. Not driving it in there too deep, letting those guys mess up, and just kind of capitalize.
Yeah, I mean, these are the games. Oh, Grisco, big slide. Good job catching it.
And now, you know, he caught it, but the tire's still going to be upset, so he's going to have to behave here. Can't punch it to gather it up. Crisco does a good job of gathering it up, and here comes, I believe, Jerry Isaacs. Goes right on by Hislop. Hislop not putting up a big fight there. No, that was actually Brian Lynch. I looked a spot ahead of Jerry Isaacs, which is Hislop up the road, and he's actually working on Fred Wolford III. And good run right now for that Lightning McQueen machine. You know, not that I want to embarrass the man, but I don't know how many times we've seen that thing up in the top 10, and it looks like Fred, you know, finally putting a good run together. Good run here for Wolford.
Well, you know, sometimes car track combos just work for some drivers, you know. I mean, I wouldn't be able to compete with these guys on tracks like this, but take me somewhere like a Talladega, and I could. You know, and I think you see that in any form. You know, some guys really like the 1.5 miles. Some guys like the bull ring. Some guys like these big wide open spaces. That's the beauty of this sport, and kind of, you just never know who's going to show up and have a shot every week.
Well, John, I would think in, you know, not that it's low speed per se, but turns 2 and turns 4, you're maybe not going to feel that push as much from following a guy closely. But with not having a lot of the banking, I mean, arrows really got to affect you here if you get too close to that guy in front of you, right?
Oh, absolutely, 100%. That'll cause some wear in that right front because you're taking the air and the downforce off, and you're making the tire do more of the work. So, yeah, you got to be mindful of that for sure.
Right now, I'm taking a look at just around the track, doing my quick glances. These top 5, well, really about through 10, all single file, just running smart. James Hislop there, rounding out the top 10 in the movement. For the moment, I should say, but Jerry Isaacs, you know, he's one of those guys comfortably in the points, John, I'd say, you know, based off how he's done this season, but still looking for that elusive win.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting down to it, too. I think there's 4 more races after this, I think. We got Iowa next week. I know Watkins Glen's in there. I want to say Richmond and then Daytona, and then then we get the playoffs going. So 4 very, very different tracks that all Iowa Bullring, something could happen there. Easy to get caught up in a short track accident. Same thing with Richmond, and then of course then you've got Watkins Glen. A lot of things can happen there that you got to consider any road course a wild card, and then the biggest wild card of them all, a plate track in Daytona coming up.
Chris Bates had a big slide there coming out of 4. He was able to catch it, and now Bill Martin right behind him, and you can see how close that Diet Mountain Dew machine was as they entered turn 1. Now we got to see, can he get a run off the 2? He can't. Plants that throttle, goes around Bill Martin, slipping and sliding. Somebody spilled some Mountain Dew on the racetrack. Oh, no. Clean up on the backstretch. I could not tell who that was, if it was Ben Shepherd or not, but somebody, big hit on that. Or no, that was Michael Everhart. In his return back, big shot here. You'll see Bill slides up. You can see the smoke, John. He's locking up the brakes. There's nothing he could do.
Yeah, that's momentum taking you wherever you need to be here. But, well, Zach, you asked a question about pit stops.
Yes, I did, and I think now
we're gonna get an answer. I don't think he's I don't think you've got. You'd have to stretch this sucker 50 laps. Boy, can you get 10 laps worth of caution? Get 10 laps saved under cautions here, and hope for maybe another caution or 2. But I can't wait to see who comes down pit road here.
Now, obviously,
I'm towards the back. I'm going. I'll tell you that. If I'm back half of the field, probably maybe let's say from 15th on down, I probably go ahead and pit.
Yeah, I think
16th or down.
The way these guys master the tires, this would be my strategy. I'm coming down, I'm getting a 4, and then I'm praying that we do our regular green flag long run here. We get a pit stop, and then you fuel only me for the last 10 laps. But we'll see.
Yeah, I think you're probably right on that front. It looks like they're all coming.
Look at this, too. Tom Ogle, I love that. He is pushing Courtney as they enter pit road. He is all over him. I love that, man. This guy's playing games, having fun. We'll have to see. I know, John, sometimes, and, they do it to have fun, but, that's a little gamesmanship. Maybe Courtney overshoots the pit box here now. You got the stage rattle.
100%. Ogle will be the first one into his pit. They're
Ogle
separated by about, they're all right up here at the front, so you're going to be able to see all 3 of them. Dan Hill comes in there, so...
Look at Courtney Nelson, though, John. That's a professional. The way he angled that thing, that's beautiful.
Ogle's down. Looks like Hurley. I guess Ogle. Wow, he drove through Hurley to get there. Thank you, iRacing.
They give you, the 3 pit boxes?
Yeah.
I think? Boy, oh boy. That
was taking advantage of that 100%. And I can tell you, Hurley's probably thinking, Zach, you and I have been there. You're inside the car, and literally another car drives right through your car. Like you're a ghost. And I think that probably unsettled Roger a little bit. It would have me.
Yeah, I wouldn't even be surprised. You see that he backs out of the throttle just out of instinct.
Yeah,
and that may be the difference. But I think arguably, John. Now, we talked about the Cup race today, how important the inside was. Maybe Roger Hurley actually won the game here.
Yeah, you know what? If he gets a good start and can stay on Courtney's back bumper there, that might lock Ogle out.
We'll have to see here. Lights are still on. They should shut off this time by. Now, so you got to think here. All those guys coming down pit road, it will be close to the end. We don't think they can make it, though. Not unless we're doing some serious fuel saving. And I don't really see guys going down to the bottom of the racetrack right now under pace laps to try to do it. So I think they got to stop one more time here.
Yeah, I mean, I went out earlier and kind of did a mock fuel run or whatever, and I was getting about half a gallon a lap, and there's 20 gallons in the car, so I mean, you know, pretty easy to figure that math out. So, yeah, but cautions will probably, you get one caution, next thing you know, you could probably go to lap 42, 43, I would imagine. So, now you get a couple cautions here, and boy, so I think some of these guys might be very, very close.
And you know, if you're the 77, how close are you willing to go? You know, are you one of the guys maybe, you know, we heard people talk about in the NASCAR race there before that final green, white, checkered. Should we stop? Do we take tires? You know, worried that we're going to have a couple more. And I think, you know, Hurley might be in that same boat because, I mean, as much as that win, you know, how much that would mean, John, I mean, he needs the points tonight.
He does, and I still think that was probably a safe bet coming in there. You know, worst case scenario, you do have to make another one, but if he has to, everybody else does. So you stay. The nice thing about what he did there is you stay on the same cycle as everybody else, so you can just kind of run the race and stay in the flow of the race. You don't have to worry or try to do anything Herculean to leapfrog anybody.
No, for sure. I just meant it in the aspect of guys like Tom Ogle, Josh Robinson. You know, they're in. They can go for another one, try to cushion that points lead. I don't think he can necessarily risk it and hang it all out tonight. It's just, I don't think he has those cards.
100% no. I wouldn't be taking any kind of high risks.
Because right now, 3 of the top 5 are locked in here. Actually, your top 3, Hurley and Medlin, still looking to get in here. Medlin would be quite the story as well. We'll have to see what he can do as we roll down the front stretch here and we cross the bricks. The green flag waves. It's time to go play. John, we still got 55 laps to go.
Hurley,
lots of racing.
Tom Ogle did not get going.
Oh, and there you saw, I mean,
stacked the whole
who
lot
else it helped? Andrew Medlin, I mean, he moves up to 3rd. He gets
we got one on the wall. Lightning McQueen car into the wall.
Oh, Fred Wolford was having such a good run. Scrapes the outside wall. Looks like everything's okay.
Yep.
But look at Tom Ogle. Here he comes. He's going to take a peek back for P3.
And Medlin wisely kind of backs out, and he's going to have space there to kind of get in right behind him there.
Yep, and that's definitely a guy you want to latch right on to. If Tom thinks he can go, let him go, latch on, and try to stay in between him and that defending champion. As you see Gavin Adams slide a little bit coming off the corner. Fred Wolford the 3rd now. Does he think he's got some more heat in those tires after just getting in the wall a lap ago? You got to think Lightning McQueen going to take it pretty easy here, but he drives it in deep into 1. Gavin slides up in front of him, and now they got the 69 of Ben Shepard right behind. Ben sees that door shut. Now is that Scott Negus trying to take advantage of that? No, it's not. It's that McDonald's machine. What do we got in that McDonald's? It is Scott Negus. I didn't know Scott Negus had McDonald's on that this week.
And Negus is, oh boy, the 69 had a big slide there too. And Negus did a good job there not getting into the back of him.
Yeah, those are both Fords. You know, you don't want to have any issues here in the garage this week. So they got to take it easy. And speaking of taking it easy here, I don't know if Roger Hurley can, because Tom Ogle reeling him back in. I think he wants to get back into P2.
Yeah, in this battle here,
out of 1.
Hurley has a whole lot more to lose than Ogle does. So if I'm in Hurley's shoes, somebody who really wants a spot, yeah, you know what, I'd give it to him, and hopefully they come back to me a little bit later, but I'd just be on full taking care of my stuff mode.
I believe it was Brian Lindsay. It was. He doesn't have any damage, I don't think, but he got loose coming out of 2. May have clipped the inside wall. I can't tell you because my replay's bugging out, like disconnected, so I couldn't even see it. Oh, does he clip? Yeah, he does just clip it, but not a lot of damage. And oh man, that's another one. John, we've seen some saves today.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, these guys have done a really good job on that, getting out of throttle and getting the inputs right, with your steering and catching up to the car. I've seen quite a few catches, actually, probably even a few that we haven't even mentioned. Um, yeah, these guys, but not really a surprise with these guys, though, to be honest with you.
No, and I could be wrong. I may be thinking the exact opposite, John, but I think with lack of banking that we have here, makes it even more difficult to save a race car.
Well, in theory it would, but here, because of how the corners lay out, where you have to lift to get into the corners, you're not. If you're overdriving is where you're going to have a problem getting the car around. But this track, it's really easy not to overdrive, if that makes sense. You got visual markers, like the lights and stuff like that on the outside of the track, and and for folks that don't race in iRacing or even in real life, visual markers on a track are so valuable because, believe it or not, we're not looking at a place on the track to lift. We don't even, realize as you go down like this long back stretch, you're looking along the wall for your visual marker where you're leaving. Where it's the number 1, the number 2, whether it's a light. You look for those things, and that's where you lift along the wall. And if you do that, your car is really gonna handle quite well if you can manage to do that consistently.
Yeah, definitely. And, that kind of, it makes me think, what you talked about, you almost maybe drive this place like a road course, you're just backing it up. You got your visual cues, and it's almost another one where, maybe we sound like a broken record, but you're racing the racetrack here, not so much the other guys around you.
Well, in the case in point, yesterday in the Real World Cup qualifying, SVG had a great run, and so using the road course analogy, because of the brakes you're using to turn the car in, because you're still getting on the brake before you put a lot of wheel in the car, those techniques off the road course stuff, and I think that could be a reason why Tyler Courtney is so far out front right now. Courtney Nelson. Haven't done that in a couple of weeks. I think that could be also why he's out front here, because Courtney is really strong. And speaking of Tyler Courtney, I know probably nobody watches this that's around him or in his camp, but we do wish him a speedy recovery. He took a big hit at Eldora a few weeks ago for the Kings Royal. And actually it was the jackpot race, I think, on a Friday night there with the high limit, and really, really got hurt pretty good. He's going to be out for some time, so we do wish him a speedy recovery.
Yeah, definitely. 7 BC will not be the same.
No, there's a lot of guys. That was a brutal week for those sprint car drivers. Brad Sweet took a pretty big shot. There's a few of those guys that, a couple of guys went to the hospital. Not only did Tyler go to it, but I can't think of the other driver that went too. Both of them are going to miss some time. Like 2 out of the 3 high limit guys are now on the injured reserve list.
This is Brian Lindsay again in that 24 machine. Oh! No caution flag, though, and the 24 of Brian Lindsay. He got lucky the first time, John. Luck didn't strike twice for that 24.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's been on edge. We've seen him a couple times. That one there. Yeah, that might be a race ender there, hitting that fresh like that. I'd have to think that's image everything.
And, more motor troubles out there. Michael Everhart, I noticed in the bottom, drop connection, tough break there for Michael. Hopefully he can get back out here with us again this season. Suffered that unfortunate.
I don't know. I think there's something with, I've seen a lot more packet losses here, and even I've suffered through a couple more than normal. So I don't know if iRacing's updates or something are taxing the systems different, but I am seeing a lot more and have experienced a lot more. I've experienced in the last 2 weeks more packet losses than I have the last 3 or 4 years combined.
Yeah, and I know from racing with you that it's definitely not a connection problem. There's definitely stuff going on behind the scenes. Oh, who's that slipping and sliding? Oh, Brian Lynch, hang on to that Hooters machine.
No.
Oh. I think that counts as a save. I think it does.
I'll bet you, if you ask Brian, he's not count that as save. He just lost a whole lot of track position. But I think what he will count it as lucky that he didn't tag any walls here. Wow. Nice job for him to get that woad up there.
Yeah, and if you notice that replay we just saw, the car right in front of him did the same thing but caught it. So you got to wonder, maybe we're on that stage, tires starting to get a little hot, slip and slide. Now, John, we're going to be on lap 40.
Now I think you can pit it. Now I think you can pit it and make it and be comfortable making it, unless there's a green-white checker. You know, you're still going to have to count on a caution, I think, unless you can really conserve, you know, shutting your engine off under caution and all that. So you might be able to eke it out now. So we'll see if these guys dive down pit road. But you said it. Get gas only. I mean, you know, I don't know if they really wore those tires in too much there. That wasn't really a long run there. So we'll see, you know, when we come back around here.
No, and we've seen it. I mean, obviously, Dover, a little different story. Those guys were out there. Some older tires, Greg took advantage. But I think, you know, minimal laps on this set of tires, you're not really going to gain. But you could possibly lose here if you're at the front. So I think that's probably decided. But we'll see who decides to dive down pit road. And maybe if somebody stays out, we'll pull them up here, pick their brain a little bit, see what they were thinking.
I tell you, you don't want to be the last guy standing. You know, if everybody comes in, you're the only one out there, because right then and there, you know, you're probably going to be in trouble. But even let's just say you're 15th, and then 16th on back comes in, your heart sinks looking up in the rear of your mirror and watching everybody behind you go to the pits. But these guys kind of sort of have the looks that maybe they're going to dive down pit road, but we'll see if any of them fake it. Looks like Courtney's staying out. Nope, they're going to fake it. Oh, Ogle, 4th place. Wow, I think that splits the field.
Now, the real question is, John, here, do we talk to the first person that comes off pit road, see if they think they can make it from here? Or do we talk to somebody who stayed out?
I would say talk to somebody who stayed out, because are they comfortable that they're going to make it? Because I think almost certainly the guys that are coming down pit road now. Yeah, I'm going to say everybody that's pitting here can make it to the end.
All right, well,
So six cars stayed out.
Let's pull up the leader here, Courtney Nelson. Well, let's talk to him. Let's see what's going through his head. I mean, he's got to feel hung out. Courtney, you're stuck up front, man. You know, you kind of set the tone. Everybody going to do what you don't do. Are you worried those guys can make it the rest of the way on fuel now?
I don't believe so. The most I could do on a set, even if I was trying real hard, was about 37, 38 laps. So I'm hoping that we don't get cautions and they stay out. Hopefully this works out.
Well, you just mentioned the cautions and able to stay out here. You know, do you think how close or how far and how long can you stay out before you'll have to pit then, do you think?
I got about 25-ish laps I can go. In the pace we were running, I run out of tire before I run out of fuel. Or backwards, sorry. I run out of fuel before I run out of tire. So I think the pace is there, and just hopefully it stays green so this can work out.
Not that I want to spoil your cards, but, you know, that's kind of what I was thinking, Courtney. And with the way you guys save fuel, is there any thought this thing stays green just to gas and go?
That would be pushing it, I think. I guess it would depend on the gaps and how the race is playing out, because you do lose a little bit on tire, and the tire do wear out. It's just, it takes a long time for it to get there.
Well, hey, Courtney, you're leading the way, man. Everybody's going to do what you don't do. Good luck here, man. Go bring this thing home.
All right, you guys have a good one.
I think he's felt pretty good about his decision, I think. You know, he's not feeling like those guys can make it the rest of the way. So, really, I mean, we mentioned, John, there wasn't a lot of laps on these tires. I mean, what was he going to lose?
Well, I don't want to ruin his party, but the first guy with that went to pits that's back out on the track is Josh Robinson. If there's anybody out there that can make tires and everything last, it's the driver of that 23 car.
And obviously, you know, we're not at Talladega, we're not at Daytona, but there is a lot of drafting. And is there maybe, you know, Josh here?
Yeah.
Just takes his time, John, you know, maybe half throttle, 3/4 throttle down these long straightaways. I mean, you could find probably an extra lap or two just by being Ave while you're out there driving.
Yeah, have somebody pull you along. This is going to be cool to watch the end of this.
Look who's right behind Josh Robinson. God dang it, John.
Well, I
How
told
does
you
he
that's
do
because
it?
he's fun. God
It's
help the
unbelievable.
field. God help the field if he ever, doesn't have any kind of issue. But Dan Hill, he's just an amazing driver. I mean, there is just no quitting that 7 car, man. That's, we don't really root for anybody up there, but you just gotta really enjoy what he does and the recoveries he's had this year, because that takes a lot to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I can't tell you how many times, I folded up on the early lap and just held that escape button and went and watched TV with the wife. I mean, he's clawed his way out of every hole that he's been in. And man, he comes out shining like a diamond. It's unbelievable. We'll have to see. I'm sure he'll have a factor in this outcome before it's all said and done. We're inching closer, John. When we take the green flag, I guess we're at the halfway point.
Now, we're going to have to start calling him Black Cat, because he doesn't have any luck early in the race, but he's definitely got 9 lives. I mean, that's Dan Hill in a nutshell.
As they enter the Geico restart zone here, Courtney drops the hammer. We're back underway. Good start for Hurley on the outside. Have to see, can Wayne Hufford maybe take a peek here? I think he's just going to play nice. Those guys are on older tires, probably just want to try to hold these spots down as long as they can. The 45 of Mosier, he was on a slip and slide there coming out of turn 1. Slides up the racetrack out of 2, grabs it. Man, he's going to lose some steam here going down the long straightaway. And this is where maybe the 97 here thinks about taking a peek.
And he is too far back to do that, but he got loose going in. That's going to open the door for the 23 and the short shoot here. Look for the 23 to get that pass done down the front stretch.
And you mentioned new tires there for Josh Robinson. This is going to be easy for him. Zotner plays nice here, lets him go right on by. And now when he takes a peek up in that mirror, he sees the trash man coming, Daniel Hill. To see Daniel going to take a peek here going into 1. That's a good aggressive move. And if you got new tires, might as well use them. And Daniel here trying to go right up ahead. Kelvin Mosier, he gets in the outside wall coming out of 1, and that looked like a pretty decent shot, John. We saw the dust fly off.
Yep.
Tom Ogle here trying to get back up towards the front. He's hung out P2 most of this race, but after a rough pit stop there, lost the spot to Daniel Hill, lost the spot to Josh Robinson, and now he's trying to pick his way through the field as we see Fred Wolford III back there behind Mark Fish. Mark Fish trying to make a move on Gorisco. Briscoe, he's going to lift out here, maybe not put up much of a fight, because Wolford actually jumps down low here, going to hop in line with the Daytona 500 winner, and they're both going to clear him here as they enter 1. Does Chris Bates maybe try to take a peek? Not enough room, but here comes Clay Walker looking underneath Bates, and now Greg McDaniel, not too sure if he got out of shape there. It was a little high coming out of 1. Man, he had to catch it there coming out of 2. Guys sliding all over the place.
Yeah, it makes it fun for them. You got to wrestle the car around, but it also is nerve-wracking for them, because that car can step out at any time unpredictably.
Clay Walker floating up the hill there. You saw he had to catch it, didn't want to get up into Gorisco, and that's where, you maybe crank a little bit too much wheel into that, John, and all of a sudden it just starts sliding on you. But now he clears Gorisco, and now Chris Bates taking a peek underneath. Stay in this camera, John, or Brian, let's watch him drive into 1. You can see Gorisco deep, way late on getting in the brakes, but Bates now picks up that throttle, makes it all back and then some, and now this is where I think, John, Bates gets a good run out of 2, maybe completes the deal. He does.
Yeah, and Bates is somebody that's is needing points, because he's one of those guys on the outside looking in, and this is an opportunity race for him with a couple of those guys that are above him on the cut line, not here.
Yeah, most definitely. Bates, one of those guys. Daryl Weininger, one of those guys. I don't know if Daryl's here tonight.
Didn't see him.
So lots of guys missing out. I mean, Gorisco here could make up some. I mean, he's 95 back, but guys start mixing some races. You get some top 5s. Never know what could happen. But really surprised here, John, is, you know, I take a peek up here at Kelvin Mosier in fourth. It bounced off the wall, and well, that gapped Josh Robinson. As you see, Negus now, he gets a little loose there. I believe Andy Thomas did as well. They both go to the inside, but like I was saying, those new tires, John, I mean, it helped them complete passes on that opening lap, but they're really not running these guys down.
Or is he lifting early and coasting through these corners to save fuel?
That's what I'm leading you into it. You understood where I was going. Who was sideways up in the wall? Was that Zotner?
Yeah, 97.
In the 97, and oh man, that was right in front of Greg McDaniel. Sorry to cut you. Oh, and then he thought he was going to maybe have to go to the pit road, but you saw cars coming, had to yank it back up. Oh my gosh, that was wild here going down the front stretch.
Yeah, he hurt that car because it doesn't look like it wants to turn too easily now down through 1 and 2. So he's going to have to limp that car around the track, not create a caution.
Greg McDaniel there on the inside looking to get another one. That Cartoon Network machine trying to roll off the momentum from last week. Greg McDaniel started this thing with a trip down pit road for misbehaving last week, and all of a sudden up inside the top 10, man. This Cartoon Network machine doing work. All right, so John, do you want to break the news or you want me to break it?
Well, I mean, we're hearing that from a pretty reliable source. I think that Robinson is saving and coasting in the corners, just like what I said he was doing, and thinks he can make it from here. I was thinking, you know, with that caution that came out, you know, and being able to shut the car off and all that, I think that you can stretch it to make it. So, boy, you know, those front six there, and you know, and from Josh's standpoint, if you know that. You know the race isn't with any one of those guys out your windshield. The race is with the guy, it's the guy behind him who the race is, you know, who you're racing.
You can tell, yeah, he's pushing in that clutch there, trying to gather it all at the end of those straightaways. And, you know, John, that's some trick a lot of guys like to use too. I mean, maybe it can get you into trouble here, but you know, sometimes that.
Well, if you go in his car,
we can go
in his car, you can see behind the wheel. Yeah, look at the dashboard. Look at the RPMs. They all disappear, and you can hear that he completely lets out of it. When we get down to 3, watch that dashboard. Watch the RPMs. They will completely disappear as he completely lifts to get down there in that corner. Look at that go all the way down.
Yep, so and then you can see he releases the clutch, and then it'll gather up some RPMs there. I mean, he is doing what he can. Now, interesting, right behind him, okay, I would assume Daniel Hill doing the same thing.
Yeah, I was just going back.
Tom Ogle just got by him, so maybe Tom not in save mode, John. That's kind of wondering, or maybe he just wants to get around and save.
Yeah, he's not clutching. He's shifting down. He's doing his normal deal, you know. And Tom's got 1 speed. God love him, but he's got 1 speed, so that doesn't really surprise me. Let's see Dan Hill. I'm going to go kind of watch him now until he gets down here to turn 3. But, yeah, like I said, I kind of suspected early on there that because that gap wasn't closing, that Josh was saving fuel there and coasting those corners.
There you're watching Jerry Isaacs and Scott Negus battle it out.
Well, and Dan's coasting and he's lifting early, but he's not clutching it. The clutching, I think, is what's going to get. That's big for Robinson there. He's got to get better gas mileage because of that.
Yeah, and that's where, you know, the advantage. Well, I guess. Well, actually, John, this is a stupid question, okay? And a lot of times, you know, I play dumb, ask you questions. But nowadays, okay, in a NASCAR car, if I sit in one of these, caution. Do I have a clutch? Oh, guys, caution. Oh, no, we're starting in front of Josh Robinson. Oh, Josh gets collected hard. And oh, man, heartbreak. Heartbreak for Josh Robinson. 2 weeks in a row, John.
Oh. And you kind of see the car rolling. He had the brakes held, and they got halfway up the track and let go of the brake, and you saw that car start rolling again. And Oh man.
And now, do you know what's kind of crazy here? I think this is the worst timing ever for Josh Robinson because Brian,
He had those guys right where he wanted
on
them.
Josh's car. Yeah. Now watch this. So zoom out again, Ryan. It looks like he's setting up to let Ogle by, and that's why he goes in high. He sees Ogle coming, and then he was already committed. He couldn't go down, John. That's just unfortunate timing. I mean, that's terrible luck. He saw Ogle coming. I mean, we were just talking about Ogle knows one speed. He's not saving. He's going to let Ogle go. And then, oh, man, that's terrible.
Yeah, now I think you're going to see a lot of guys are going to be shutting their cars off and coasting. But I think, like Courtney Nelson, those first four, they've got to pit. You know, unless they think they can get another caution. I think if they were to get one more caution, it gets really, really close if they can make it or not. But I don't know if I would want to gamble, and especially if I'm that 77 car, I don't gamble here. I get to pit so I can have that security to know I can make it to the end.
No, and, you know, I don't want to put the voodoo curse out there, but I believe, John, I think, you know, maybe 3 of our last 5 races have gone to green, white, checkered. We've been getting a lot of them lately. So, you know, you may want to make sure you got an extra lap or 2 in the bank, which should honestly make guys like Josh sorry, Josh. Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that. I'll say Daniel Hill and Tom Ogle close on fuel. You know, that should make them sweat. Maybe even think about coming in here and topping off.
Well, it looks like they are. Everybody is coming in. You know, might as well. If you're going to be really close, you might as well.
Yeah, I'm right there. I'm right there with you. You might as well. And, you know, if you're Brian McRae here, he pit the last time. You haven't run a whole bunch this year. Why wouldn't B-Max stay out here and try to go bring one home? I mean,
it only looks like a couple of them there, and one of them might be a lap down that stayed out.
Yeah, Lloyd Moore, the second driver to stay out, and we just talked about him. He needs points.
Yep.
So we'll have to see who wins
Tom
this
Ogle
race.
is going to be the first one off pit road.
Yep, gas and go.
That's huge. Yeah, there's quite a few of them now. Courtney is going to fall. Boy, this is going to be interesting because Courtney has been the class of the field now. And Courtney Nelson now is going to start probably, I'm going to say, 6th, 7th on this restart.
Yeah, and I think, you know, the real interesting one to me there, too, was Daniel Hill. He had just come down pit road, and some of those guys still get 4 tires. I mean, he's back to 10th now. I know 2 of those guys stayed out, but, like, now Scott Negus got around. I mean, Mosier got back in front of him. It's not going to be easy for Daniel Hill to get by those guys. I mean, as good as he is, and, I mean, what we've seen him do, being that far behind, that's not going to be easy.
No, and now those, you know, with the new tires and everything else, I mean, now I guess the driver in the Catsburg seats, you got to give it to that 11 and Tom Ogle. You got to think he's in pretty good position here to maybe get this win, you know, if we can go green from here on in.
Josh Robinson did indeed, make that thing down pit road, but he is still sitting there. He lost the lap. Lots of damage to the front end here, so I mean, at least there's some solace in, you know, he's in the playoffs. And, I mean, John, I think I keep saying it, but eventually that bad luck that he's been having, it's got to go away. And, I mean, it's going to be bad timing for everyone else when it does go away come playoff time.
Yeah. Boy, this is gonna be the restart of the race here. I got a feeling this is gonna be a good one here with kind of the mixed bag you have, but also the speed wise. I mean, like I said, the 78 there of Courtney Nelson. He's been the class of the field so far, and starting on the outside no less. And we've already talked about this, but you really don't want to be on the outside here. So, you know, this is gonna be pretty cool. I can't wait to see the green flag fly here.
No, and based off pit times, I would say Courtney Nelson, that first guy to get 4 tires. Everyone else under that 10-second pit stop time. So, talking maybe right sides only or just fuel.
Yeah, and you know we haven't mentioned that number 1 car is going for 2 in a row here, and he's not in bad position either.
No, definitely not. He's the one I was actually going to mention. I would say for sure a 2-tire stop for him because he's at 9.8. The other guys are around that 6-7 mark. That may be a fuel only. But I got to be on board here with Greg McDaniel. I think if I'm coming down and I've got an extra set or two in the box, you might as well give me right sides.
Yeah, I mean, if it's going to take you that long to fuel, you might as well throw them on.
See if maybe that's the difference. Obviously, row one, those guys stayed out. They're on older tires here. Clay Walker, Tom Ogle, fuel only. And we've got Courtney Nelson and Greg McDaniel there, row number 3. Courtney, the first guy with new tires. Will he take advantage? You got to think everybody good from here. When we take the green flag, we're going to have 30 laps to play in the Brickyard. So fuel will not be an issue, I think, even for a green-white checkered. You got to position yourself. Got to go get this thing as we head down the front stretch here. For the final time, we drop the hammer, back underway. Good jump here from Brian McCrae. Tom Ogle now trying to take a peek here under Lloyd Moore.
The number 2 didn't go anywhere, Zach. Oh, and Courtney Nelson's going around.
Courtney Nelson maybe gets a shot in the back from Mosier. Couldn't tell with the checkup. Courtney Nelson hard in the wall in 1. And we are back under caution. Cautions.
I was noticing it right off. That's why I jumped in there. Clay Walker absolutely did not go. And, Nelson went in there, and Mosier was kind of in the middle of the track and not to the bottom. I think probably Nelson, I'm going to guess, probably thought whoever's to his inside was down on the line.
Yeah, and there's really nowhere Mosier could go because Negus was underneath him. So that's what can happen. You pit. We saw it happen to Josh Robinson last week. You're the guy. You're leading the whole thing. You're dominating. One pit stop, one caution can change everything.
Yeah, and now, to be honest, BMAC, I'm thinking it's got to probably get pretty close to feeling pretty comfortable. Ogle is going to start on the outside row 1. That's going to put Lloyd Moore on the inside now. So, Tom's going to have to get a good start and hopefully get back in line or get the lead. But those two guys, Lloyd Moore and BMAC, I'm starting to think maybe I can get there now.
We'll let Brian here, as we see they're still trying to catch up to that pace car. It's going to be a ways away with the quick caution. They got a motor around. So if he drives by this pit road opening, maybe we talk to Brian. He's a guy I don't believe we've gotten a chance to talk to him all season.
Yeah, I don't know if pit road will come open until they get the field behind the pace car. So they may go one more time before the pits open, I think, but we'll see here. Oh, the lights are red on the pit road.
Look at Tommy going down there bluffing.
Yeah, the lights are red down there, so I don't think it is open.
Kelvin Mosier coming down pit road, and he wasn't a lot of contact, but he definitely did suffer some contact. You can see a little bit of damage on the right front of that thing.
Yeah, Mosier will come in because of the damage, and that's not going to be a problem for him, but yeah.
Let's go ahead, Ryan. Grab him. Do we see him? Well, Brian, long time no see. You're back here with the OBRL on Sunday nights, man, and you're up front. How are we feeling? Can we go the rest of the way?
I think I'm going to be about 1 or 2 laps shy. I didn't get that splash on the last pit stop, so I need one more stop. I got another set of tires sitting in the pit, so I'm banking on one more caution at least.
Well, if you don't get the caution, are you trying to roll around here and clutching it, like here under caution and all that to keep those RPMs down? Are you doing anything? Do you think you can get that lap or two by just doing something, lifting early or clutching it through the corner? Is there something you can do to get those 2 laps?
I think, I'm on old tires right now. Most of the rest of the field's on 4 new ones. So once they get past me, I'm definitely going to be sitting back and rolling through and just trying to clutch it like that, see if I can make up a lap or 2. It's going to be close.
Well, man, I'm going to enjoy.
Yeah, and I'll feed you a little bit of information. I know, first guy on new 4 tires, man, he ain't back there till P5, and then they're broken up a little bit. So you're maybe not as hindered as you think. Good luck out here, BMAC. Go get him, man.
Thank y'all. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I think, I think if he had the information we had, he'd maybe be feeling okay. I mean, not that we wish it on anyone else, but I mean, the quickest car, Courtney Nelson, we saw what just happened. I think that literally opened the doors with what's happened to Josh and what's happened to Courtney. I mean, anybody could win this thing.
Well, watch that number 7 because we don't know what he has yet. I don't think he's had the opportunity to show what he has in that car yet. So, I'll be interested to see. We still have a long way to go here.
Yeah, and I think that's the best thing about that 7. You have that mistake early, and then you got all race. I mean, he's looked so good this second half, and it just builds that confidence up that, I wonder if he almost forgets about what happened on those opening couple laps, just washes the whiteboard clean.
Yeah. I mean, he's, like I said, and I know he's got, trash on there for his nickname, but I'm thinking Black Cat, man, because like I said, he's got the worst luck, and he definitely seems to have 9 lives because he always shows back up.
Lights are off. You see their double file as we roll out of 2. John, have you ever been to Indianapolis?
Yeah, many times.
My uncle, he came up here for the IndyCar race, and he told me it was one of the most amazing things he's ever experienced, and that I need to make sure I go to this place before that day comes.
When you get off 16th Street and you go under that tunnel and you get in the infield, it takes your breath away. If you park along Georgetown there, along the front stretch, and you come through that way through the gate, and you immediately get there to this cavern. It's no other facility. I mean, all the history and everything that's gone on here. When you walk through the door, the history smacks you right in the face when you walk in.
See who gets to possibly join that history here. Kiss the bricks, man. That'd be cool if they'd give you the virtual animation here.
Yeah.
Get out of the car, go kiss the bricks. That would really be something here. See, we'll watch this iRacing pace car dive down, and BMAC, can he get another good jump here? He's got Tom Ogle, a man outside who is hungry, wants to get back to victory lane. We'll have to see what he's got. BMAC with a good jump. Tom maybe caught sleeping, and here comes Lloyd Moore back to P2.
Oh, and Daniel Hill made a smart move and was able to cut down almost immediately past our finish line and get to the inside and get around Walker, who continues to struggle on the outside there.
Yeah, and now Negus here, maybe trying to get a little piece here as Scott drives that McDonald's machine underneath Walker. Now Walker's got a big run going down the backstretch because you see all these cars lined up on the high side in front of them. You need a little bit of drafting help. First guy to duck out is Greg McDaniel. Negus, no help. Got to fall back in line. Now Andrew Medlin right behind him, trying to take a peek, but Greg McDaniel, I mentioned, he did take a peek. Going to go by Lloyd Moore. Lloyd loses 2 spots this lap. Ogle got him back, and now he's going to fall back to 4th. Roger Hurley thought maybe he'd get bold here, but instead it's the trash man who just absolutely swings it down there on the bottom of 1 and 2. And right now, Lloyd Moore hung out on the outside. He's putting up a good fight here, but you don't want to overdrive into 3 or into 2, excuse me. You need this big run going down the backstretch, and this is where Daniel Hill, does he have enough to get up in line? I don't think so, because Lloyd Moore has got a big pack pushing him, but here comes Tom Ogle, maybe making a move for the lead.
Ogle there to the inside. Looks like he's going to get it done here coming out of turn 4.
Yeah, BMAC not making him work too hard here. Maybe knows, hey, I got to save a little bit of fuel if this thing stays green. Got to be careful here. And now we got last week's winner, John. Here he comes, Greg McDaniel.
Yeah, he's going for 2 in a row.
Man, talk about riding the wave. This Cartoon Network machine, those were, let's call it what it was. I mean, he was okay in points there, John, kind of just
Greg Hill
outside
just
of that
bagged
cutoff.
the wall.
Yes, he did. Daniel had a big one. But man, this has been a rough year for Greg McDaniel, and all of a sudden it's just kind of turned around, and this is the time when you want to find Lady Luck.
Well, I don't think there's Lady Luck right now. I think Greg McDaniels is doing this primarily on his own, man. He's getting that car in the right spots, and he's found some pace here. Oh, Walker goes for a big slide off the turn 4 here, and he's going to lose a couple of spots. It looks like to Medlin and to Hurley.
Yeah, Hurley, I think if you're in this 77, you got to drive it in deep. You got to try to get it done. He does. In fact, he forces him. Kind of cuts down a little bit there on corner entry, and now Daniel
now he gets
Hill.
really loose.
Oh, Clay Walker, hang on, brother. He's got to use that pit exit road here. Kind of settle the car down. Wild ride for Clay Walker, but great save once again.
Well, now that's all settled down up front here now. You got your top 3 that we know can make it. You know, we got 4th now that's praying for one more caution. You got 5th that's praying for one more caution. So we have the 3 that's, probably going to dictate the finish of this race. 1, 2, 3 right now.
Yeah, and Lloyd absolutely needs those points. I mean, he is pretty far down off that cut line. So he's going to need absolutely everything here. Is right now Jerry Isaacs taking a peek on Wolford. Can Isaacs get it done? Drives it in deep here into 1, but Wolford not backing off here. Going to make him work for it here as they stay side by side into 2.
Yeah, and Hufford is going to try to follow Isaacs through, and Isaac, whoa! Isaacs just kind of cleared himself there. Nice job.
Yeah, that was definitely, hey, man, if I'm not clear, you better lift because I'm coming up. His decision was made, and now you see he's going to try to drive away here. He doesn't want to reap any consequences. Is Kelvin Mosier here? He saw him come down pit road after the contact. He's one of the only guys who did, and I'm going to take a peek over here. Let's see. Mosier, his pit stop time, 14.5 seconds, so you got to think 4 tires here for Kelvin, so he should, pick his way up through the field here rather easily, but he needs this thing to stay green.
Yeah, and Dan Hill needs to get around Greg McDaniel right now and start, because Tom Ogle is starting to kind of walk away. We're running now 20 laps to go. Now here we go. We got battle for second.
Yeah, I think Daniel heard you here, the trash man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is sending it in here, and Greg McDaniel maybe saw the writing on the wall as well. He's liking running in these podium spots, would like to hold on to one, lets Daniel go on by. And all of a sudden, man, VMAC, look at him kind of reeling those guys back in. I mean, he's at the back of this. He may come back to Greg McDaniel before this thing's over.
Yeah, McRae is definitely liking the tow he's getting. That's keeping him up here with these guys. So rather than fighting along here, but man, I'll tell you, I know that I got a feeling that Dan Hill is getting tired of talking to me after races, because that means you're a bridesmaid, and I'm going to bet he's going to do everything in his power now to do, and he is closing on Ogle quickly.
Well, if he wins, maybe we'll still force you to interview him. We'll have to see here. Let's see what Daniel can do. Can he get up there? I mean, he is quick. He is definitely, I mean, look at that, John. 3.5 tenths of a second he made up that last lap. I mean, oh, man, that 7 is hungry.
Yeah, but now he's got to be careful that he doesn't get greedy here and overdrive and get himself into trouble. He needs to put his head down, hit his marks. If he does that, he's going to reel that 11 in, because I definitely think he's a little quicker than the 11. But Tom could also be playing possum up there a little bit, saving my stuff, not pushing too far, and just kind of watching the gap. We've seen this with these guys here. They're smart. It gets to a point, you watch the relative. If you get it down to a second or a half a second, you stand on it, So we'll have to see if that 11's got holding something back now. I don't think he is, by the way.
I thought they were going to go 3 wide there, but Roger Hurley maybe backed out of it. That was close. Lloyd Moore with a little bit of a slip up. Medlin now slipping up, and Hurley having to crack out of that throttle one more time. That's allowing Chris Bates to make it a 4-car race. And, John, I mean, obviously McRae and Moore, They may consider it, even within 10 to go, but is there a number where it's not enough time for me to do anything with fresh tires? Do you think the caution needs to come now if we want guys to pit?
Yeah. I mean, but even now, you need a lot of people to go with you. Last thing you want to do is be the only guy on pit road with, 27 cars on the lead lap. Tires and rocket fuel at that point aren't going to help you.
See here, BMAC taking a peek. Not going to do it here. McDaniel does leave the lane open here. BMAC going to go for it here. Even with coming to 17 to go this time by, BMAC still racing hard here. Man, you got to hope, he gets a little Hanukkah miracle. There's enough fuel in that thing.
Yeah, well, he said there when we talked to him that, if we start to get some laps in, he's going to have to start lifting early, maybe clutching it, to get the car just to roll without using the engine and save fuel. I think you can do that. I actually think you can save the couple laps fuel doing that. You just got to know what number to hit. I mean, we do this in endurance racing all the time. I love when I've got to just hit a number to do the fuel mileage. We do it a lot in road racing, and especially the endurance. You can do it here and save just as much gas.
Roger Hurley still trying to hold off the 12 of Andrew Medlin. Hurley needs absolutely every point he can get, so you are going to see him make that thing wide in these closing laps. He cannot afford to lose any here. He is having a good night right now. A P6 would do wonders for that 77. He'd like to get some more, but you don't want to lose any more. And Gavin Adams, man, he drove that thing in deep. I thought he was going to wash up the racetrack. Look at how close guys getting to the wall there coming out of 2. Boy, oh boy, using up all the real estate. Jerry Isaacs here making a move in that 51 machine as he drives by the 9 of Brian Lynch. Brian, we saw getting the wall early on. Wasn't a big hit there for the 9. And I think after sliding sideways in front of everybody, John, P11, not so terrible.
No, it's kind of funny, where you finish and how thankful or upset you are about it is all perspective. What happened to lead you to that point, Normal nights, P11, you're going to go home cranky after the race. You do a couple of amazing escapes and end up P11. Hey, you know what? You'll take it and gleefully carry on.
Andrew Medlin getting a big run here at the back end of this pack, but now the snake all goes down to the bottom. Kind of shuts that lane off. He's still going to try it. He's going to drive it in deep early. Knows he needs the points here. Going to play smart. Now he's going to cut back underneath. At least think about it. Can't do it. And all the while this going on, John, that battle for the lead. Oh, boy. Caution flag. Who do we got? Courtney Nelson, I'm seeing in the 78.
Yeah, Courtney's day has gone from bad to worse. It looks like contact again.
He just gets a little loose, I think, hitting the inside wall. And man, oh man, that's one that that's going to write off that 78. I think.
I thought for a minute when he started to go around, I thought he might have caught the 35. I bet you that 35, when he goes back and looks at this, he's gonna take a big breath because he got lucky there. But yeah, it kind of looked like Courtney just kind of actually caught the apron. Got it. Yeah, if you slow that down in the middle of the corner, he got down on those rumble strips. That upset the car, and around he went.
And, as the tires start to get old, you're not going to have that reliable grip to catch it after you clip those strips. So, have to see now, John, if you're BMAC, you got to think this probably made you good, right? You can't come down pit road here.
I wouldn't, not with 27 cars, not unless you think everybody from about 10th on back is going to come back if they got an extra set of tires. If I've got an extra set with 27 cars on the lead lap, I think if I'm 20th or back, I think at this point I'd go because, frankly, if you go from like 10th and nobody else does, like I said, you can get tires and rocket fuel, and that's not going to matter. You got some guy showing us Tom Ogle going.
Yes, he
Ogle
is.
wins. Wow, how many are going to go? There's a lot of
my
cars not going. There's
gosh.
a lot of cars not going. I just don't think that that's going to be. I mean, we'll have to see. These guys definitely surprise me from time to time. I just don't think I don't think Ogle's going to be able to get back through the field. But
Yeah, I mean,
Dan
with only
Hill.
12 green flag laps maybe here. If we stay green, I don't think we can.
Dan Hill has got to be ear to ear grin right now. Daniel could be sitting there too. I mean, he's going to start P2.
I'm pulling him right back in. This is the first time we're going to talk to a driver twice. This is unbelievable. Daniel, I don't even know what to say, man. I mean, can't you just keep it straight and, you know, be up front the whole time? Why do you do this to yourself? This is unbelievable, man.
Well, I'll tell you, it gets old. You know, I went back and looked at the replay. It looked like I got a little bit of net code there, and you know, it is what it is. But you know, it would be a lot more fun to just come out here and run without having something happen. But you know, at least I could say I'm resilient, I guess.
Well, you know,
go ahead, John.
I was going to tell you, I think you need to take the trash part off your name, the nickname, and I think you should just call yourself Black Cat now, because man, you got the worst luck, but then you've definitely got 9 lives because you just keep coming back. So, real quick, Ogle pitted. It's going to leave you out front. Obviously, you've got enough to hold these guys off. What's it going to take to bring home the checkered flag here?
Hopefully, just no cautions. That's really what I'd like to see. I'd like to see it go green to the end here. But you know what? I'll just have to do what I can with what I can, because I think if we keep getting reset, Tom will keep picking off 3 or 4 cars each restart. So, you know,
well, he's back.
He's gonna give it up.
He's back quite a ways. He's going to need a lot of cautions to get back. That field split on that pit stop. Half came in and half stayed out.
16th. So. He's back in 16th here, Daniel.
Oof, that's rough. Yeah, I was really debating, but I figured that, you know, if I could at least get 6 or 7 cars to stay out, we'd be all right. And luckily it worked out in my favor.
Hey man, you got that prime Brickyard real estate right now. Go bring it home, brother. Good luck.
Yeah, 10-4, buddy. Thanks.
That's freaking crazy. I mean, this is just it's unbelievable. I mean, people don't realize though. I mean, we compliment these drivers; they are good. Okay, so to loop yourself to the back and to pass good guys, you know, he's not passing people like me and John. I mean, he's passing good guys to work your way up through at the Brickyard, nonetheless. I mean, what a drive here for Daniel Hill.
Yeah. Oh, I said it earlier. You know, God help the field if he doesn't have any issues. He starts up front, stays up front. He'll be awful hard to beat. So, but now you know what? He's got to concentrate on out the windshield. He's got to get a good start here and just not look up. He just needs to hit his marks, be solid, like he said, and hope for no cautions. And now we're going to see. I mean, Medlin's been pretty quick here. He's looking for his first win back there in 3rd. McDaniel, we saw win last week. Roger Hurley, you know, we're not talking about him, but he's going to start right there on the outside of row 2. He needs a win. So, yeah, buckle up, boys and girls. This is going to be fun.
Yes, it is. And when we fire back, we're going to have 11 laps to go. So do the math there. If you're Tom Ogle, 16th, I mean, you need to get almost 1.5 guys a lap. The half part's going to be tough, so you're going to have to get to some of them, and not going to be easy to do here as the pace car pulls off.
And real quick, Zach, row 3, they need a win, so you got a bunch of cars hungry for a win.
And that may not be what Daniel wants to hear as he drops the hammer back underway. Andrew Medlin with a great restart. John, he's going to pull that 12 machine up into P2. Roger Hurley thought about making the move, but Craig McDaniel shut the door. Boy, oh boy, that was a close call, but they're all in line.
They only make that because Hurley just cut McDaniel a break. That's it. Hurley cut him a break. He was not clear when he came down there, and Hurley gave it to him, which is probably smart on Hurley's part. It's all about points at this stage of the game.
Yes, exactly. That's 77 points racing where McDaniel, he won last week. He can go for it. He can let it all hang out. And, you know, Medlin, points aren't going to help him, John, as we're watching a little bit of 3 wide there. I couldn't tell who went to the bottom, but that's Mosier up in front. Oh, boy. Tom Ogle, here he goes trying to knife his way into that. He thought about, is he going to make it 3 wide, go down the front stretch into 1? He is. You got new tires, got to use them. What's going to happen?
It's a game of chicken. And Ogle lifted there enough to give those 2 guys, but they're way up high. Ogle's going to come right down under him here into 2.
He's got to go. He can't waste
Bringing Lloyd
time.
Moore with him.
Lloyd trying to drop that hammer too, and you mentioned Lloyd, John. He needs the points as well, so Lloyd got to go here, and we've only got 10 laps to go here. Leader right now, Daniel Hill entering turn 3, so they're a ways back.
Yeah, they need a caution, period. They need a caution. If they get a caution, and if they get, at this point, I will say this, I mean, Hill said it. If, you know, we get a caution, then run a couple laps in a caution where he can pick 2 or 3 cars off, that's going to make things interesting here. So right now, if we get a caution the next lap or 2, that's going to really play to Ogle's favor.
Now, you know, I like to keep an eye on lap times, John. Daniel Hill, he just ran his fastest lap of the race, a 52.70. That's the fastest lap out of everyone. And I mean, to keep that in the tank and go run that now, oh my gosh, the Black Cat, here he is, John.
Yeah, he's got it hammer down. He's looking right out the windshield, and that's exactly what he needs to be doing. He doesn't need to worry about what anybody else is doing. He just needs to concentrate out his windshield here. And Dan, I mean, he's a really, really good driver. And you heard it earlier, a little bit of net code involved, which, you know, that's bad luck. But he can get the job done here.
See Jerry Isaacs rolling around in that 51 machine. He's trying to get to the back of that 77 of Roger Hurley. Roger would probably be just as happy with 5th, man, but needs all those points, so he's going to have to make this 51 work. And you see Crisco get awful high there through 1 and 2. That's going to allow Bill Martin to take a peek coming off of 2, but Crisco gets a good run, and now Bill might be hung out on the bottom with no friends. No drafting help there. Had to fall back up in line. Chris Bates has a handful coming off of 3. He catches it, but that allows his lap to power by on the outside. And boy, oh boy, good save here for Chris Bates. Now Clay Walker.
Ogle is getting really close to having the draft from those cars in that little bunch right there with his lop and Bates and them.
That is going to help him, but definitely not going to be enough time to get to the lead. He's going to need some help if he wants to go up there and play with the trash man.
Well, and they ran almost identical times, 52.9s. So, yeah, 5 laps to go. You got to do better than that. This lap should be a good lap time for him because he definitely has the draft now. But now he's going to catch him, and we'll see if he has anywhere to go with the speed once he gets there.
How can he time this? Can he get a big enough run here off before to maybe take
he might right here.
Mosier?
Yeah.
Gonna need to. It's gotta go this way. Big peak, but now he maybe ducked out a little early.
Yep.
He thought he had too good of a run, not realizing, hey, Mosier's got 2 cars plowing the way in front of him, and man, that was just never gonna work too far out. Now maybe, John, this is a spot where if he gets a good run off of 2, maybe you go underneath the both of them. What does he do here?
Oh, Mosier just got loose off the corner. It looks like he's just going to try to push the 43 down the backstretch.
And Tom's nicer than me because I would have stuck that sucker 3 wide and tried to go for it. But he's going to try to wheel Mosier on by. They do both clear, and now Tom Ogle.
See if he gets a run here.
Try to get him.
Yeah, if he gets a run here, he needs to try to get up to that bumper and not turn out until probably past the flag stand. you do it, I think, anytime before the flag stand, that's a little too early, but I don't even think he's close enough to do it this time.
Take a look at the lap times right now. Daniel Hill is still actually second fastest guy on the racetrack. James Hislop last time around, quickest man rolling there in P6. He's getting a little pull off of Jerry Isaacs. He may be able to get up there, mix it up with the top 5. That's a good late run out of Hislop, who is the hard charger. Started 26th up to 6th. That's a good run here. Look at Tom Ogle now, John. He gets it done finally, but it took him a little longer than he would have liked.
Yeah, 4 to go, and Hislop was just with this bunch back here that Ogle's now working through and really gapped him once he got around Bates there. But yeah, time's running out. I mean, I think even with a caution now, you know, Ogle is still running, what, P8, P9, P8 there, it looks like. So he, that's still a long way to go with, you know, even on a green-white checker to get back to the lead.
Yeah, Tommy, maybe, hiring a new crew chief this week.
We got a battle for 4th.
Yes, we do. And look at that, because it's really allowing Hislop to mow into that. And it's going to be a 3-car battle here if they don't figure it out soon. And right behind, you see Chris Bates. You can tell he's looking in his mirror, John. He is by himself, but he was weaving around like a headless snake here trying to break the draft because Tom Ogle is coming.
Yeah, and Chris knows probably the points, and, you know, he doesn't want to lose any points here. Yeah, there he goes low, and...
Yeah, I mean, he is playing the game here, swooping back up. Tommy says, I'll follow you. I'm going to follow you, and we'll see. He goes low here into 1, and have to see what kind of run he gets coming out of 2. You don't expect to see much passing here, but this is where Tom wants to set him up. You see him backs up the corner, nails the throttle, takes a peek to the inside, and man, Chris Bates, he's just going to be pounding the steering wheel. There's nothing he can do about that.
Yeah, and Ogle's smart to get away from him, so no side draft to pull him back here, and I'm going to bet he'll be able to outbrake him. Yep, right here into turn 3.
As Tom completes the pass, Bates able to slot in line. He needs to because Mosier's coming, and Bates doesn't want to lose another one here, so need all the points he can get. Is Fred Wolford on the outside of Lloyd Moore, I believe. It is Lloyd Moore, and B-Mac, he had just pit too, along with Tom Ogle. Now B-Mac, did B-Mac just go to the inside there? Maybe knows I respect that. I know what that was. I'm not points racing. You guys go. That's Lloyd needing some points, and you're the man for that, B-Mac. Bill Martin taking a peek on the inside here. Bill going to get it done easily. No crossover move. Now Clay Walker taking a peek under Mark Fish, your Daytona 500 winner. Mark not going to try to outbreak him here. Just going to give Clay the bottom. Tries to slot in front of Gavin Adams, and you can see when he cut back down, it kind of unsettled Gavin's car. Maybe broke the air a little bit, but John, white flag in the air. 1 lap to go is the trash man. I mean, what a run. I'm speechless.
Yeah, like I said, it's a competitive field here, and guys are really good in this league, so it's impressive. But to his point, it's getting old doing that, so maybe this will exercise the bad luck right out of that 7-car for him.
Yeah, and this is exactly what Daniel needs. I mean, he's been up at the front so many weeks, but only 1 win on the season coming into tonight, and all of that is about to change as we roll off of 4 for the final time. Daniel Hill is going to cement his name. He gets to kiss the bricks here at the Brickyard. He takes the checkered flag, followed by, as I click over to Andrew Medlin, Greg McDaniel, back-to-back podiums. Good weeks there for Greg. And Roger Hurley, John, the man who needed a good run, gets one. P4. He is going to need every single one of those points. Good run for Roger.
Oh, 100% here. So, yeah, some big moves. And that's going to be exciting now, these last 4 races, because that's really it's going to really tighten that place for the points race to get into the playoffs here, because I think now instead of having 2 or 3 drivers, I think you're going to have 4 and 5 drivers, and then I think you're going to have even a couple more that if one of those guys have trouble, they could get leapfrogged, and so this is going to be a great battle down the stretch here for that final playoff spot.
Yeah, and this final lap here, Daniel motored it around even after he took the checkered flag. It's like he didn't believe it, wanted to get to the line first one more time. That was the quickest quote-unquote victory lap I think I've ever seen. I think he's ready for us to go to break so he can have a drink and then get his interview done. So that's exactly what we're going to do. Step away here for a couple minutes. We'll be right back with your rundown and interviews from your top 3. So stick around on the Virtual Grid Network. We're back live on the Virtual Grip Network, and man, we saw another good one here at the Brickyard, and I'll tell you, I mean, I've witnessed it all out of the trash man this season. I mean, you can put him a lap down, it doesn't matter. He'll come back and he'll talk to John, but if he just spins out, he's put on the lead lap. Apparently, he'll get up here and talk to me because Daniel Hill brought home an amazing win, John, and arguably the hardest fought win we've seen for a driver this season.
Yeah, everything, for having the bad luck, he got lucky on the other side of it. And the cautions, everything fell his way the rest of the night. So, boy, tale of 2 different parts of the race, early on to late on. I mean, he put it together. He finished the job here tonight and was able to get the win.
Tale of 2 races. Let's show you the tail of the tape here. Let's show you the result. Daniel Hill, obviously the man, bringing home the win. Andrew Medlin with a big podium there for that. He'll probably be happy with a P2. Knows needs a win, though, to get in. Still plenty of time. 4 weeks to go for Andrew to try to punch his ticket. Greg McDaniel coming home 3rd. Roger Hurley. Not too sure what was going on with my mic there. Sorry, I heard maybe connection issues. Hopefully we're back. Greg McDaniel coming home 3rd. Roger Hurley 4th. Gary Isaacs 5th. James Hislop 6th. Tom Ogle 7th. Chris Bates 8th. Kelvin Mosier 9th. And Lloyd Moore rounding up the top 10.
And your second 10 looked like this. Coming home 11th, we talked about him a lot tonight. Brian McRae there finishes 11th with Fred Wolford. Finishes 12th. Wayne Hupford 13th. Clay Walker 14th. Mark Fish, your Daytona winner. He's going to come home 15th. Gavin Adams 16th. Andy Thomas going to come home 17th. Bill Martin, 18th. Robert Garisco, 19th. And rounding out your top 20, Greg Hammond.
Scott Negus coming home in the blackjack position. Torrance Childs, 22nd. Eric McCluskey, 23rd. Patrick Martindale, 24th. Tom Embassy, 25th. Larry Corey, 26th. Brian Lynch, 27th. Courtney Nelson, after a dominating run early, coming home 28th. Josh Robinson, unfortunate, 29th. And Ben Shepard rounds out the top 30.
Finishing 31st is going to be a newcomer there, for at least for our series here on Sunday nights. Nick Zotner, followed by Brian Lindsay. Michael Everhart's going to come home 33rd. 34th will be Andrew Koska after early trouble. Lonnie Corey, 35th. And rounding out your field, never made it to the grid, is going to be Sean Foltz.
No, we'll go ahead. We'll bring up our third place finisher here, Greg McDaniel. Try to get a word with him. Greg, long time no speak, man. You couldn't get enough of the podium. You win last week, and man, right back here again. Big P3, how we feeling?
I feel much better this week. I wanted to get back here under better circumstances, and I didn't think I'd actually do it from having to do a green flag pass through, but I did, and pretty happy about it.
Yeah, lots of guys slipping and sliding off at turn 2. Where would you say you had the most trouble out here tonight?
Who had, or where did I have?
Yeah, where were you having trouble, or were you just feeling pretty good everywhere?
After I adjusted my brake bias in practice, I got it pretty good. I was pretty good except on exit. The exits of all 4 corners could really get you if you weren't careful. I'd say 1 and 3 were probably a little worse than 2 and 4, but if you got on the gas too early trying to get under somebody and beat them down little short shooters straight away, it'd be really easy to loop it around and lose it. I think pretty much everybody I saw spun out in front of me tonight, pretty much that's exactly what they did.
Obviously, Greg, hindsight's 2020, but you made the right move in my eyes. Were you worried when you saw some of the guys duck down pit road with 12 to go? Did you think they'd be able to catch you?
The caution before that, I pretty much made my bed because I just took 2. I found out later Andrew and Dan both took 4. I considered taking 4, but I wasn't anywhere near the fastest guy here tonight, so I figured I'd have to strategize a little. So I just took 2 that last stop. So the second to last stop, I wasn't gonna be coming in on the last one because I only would have had lefts to put on, and that would have tightened the car up. The car actually did really good with only 2. Towards the end, right before the last caution came out, it was starting to get to be a little bit of a handful, but after everything cooled down during the last caution, I was able to stay where I was at. Roger never got too close to me, and I could keep the other 2 in sight. So 3rd place is like a win for me tonight. Pretty good. I think everything went just the way it should have.
Well, hey, before I let you do your thank yous and get out of here, Greg, we're rolling to Iowa next week. I mean, how are we feeling about doing some short tracking, man? You confident?
I like Iowa. It's either a hit. It's either a you like it a lot or you don't, and I actually kind of like it there. So I'm looking forward to it.
Hey, look forward to seeing that Cartoon Network machine under the lights, man. Good luck. Hopefully we're talking to you. But before you get out of here, you got anyone you want to thank?
Yep, I'll thank the league's sponsor, YesterYear Racing. All the admins that do a great job on here. All the racers did a pretty good job tonight. It was not a super easy track to get around on. My girlfriend Sharon, thanks for always saying yeah, go race. And my friend Dave, if you're watching back in Portland, hi to you. And you guys for the great job you do. That call you guys did at the end of the race last week was really good. I've watched it way more times than I probably should admit to watching it. So good job to you guys too.
Hey, that means a lot, man, and I'm glad I could make that memorable for you. Heck of a job this week. Congrats on the back-to-back podiums. Go get them in Iowa, man.
All right, thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Greg McDaniel, your P3 finisher, and now my man John Hine. He's going to talk to your P2 finisher. Who you got?
I've got Andrew Medlin, and Andrew, I tell you, a nice P2. You continue to impress here, a relative newcomer. You just got your double digit. How difficult was it out there today?
Yeah, John, you know, I didn't do much flashy moves out there. Just kind of, you know, tried to run my own race there. And I'll tell you, as you guys saw, it was really hard to pass tonight. So it was, on those restarts, it was, everyone was eager to get around the guys through 1 and 2. So you got a good run down that back straightaway and gained as many spots as you can. But for an Indianapolis race, it sounds like you guys had quite a bit of action to cover.
Yeah, you know what? But track conditions were over 110 degrees, so anytime you get a race anywhere when it's that hot and slick out, you know, things happen. You know, I got to say, you know, here the last couple of weeks you've started, as you've gotten familiar with running these guys, and now especially that you can start qualifying and starting up front, which for you seems to have been huge. There are 4 races before we get to the chase. We've got Iowa next week. I believe Richmond's in there. Watkins Glen's in there, and then Daytona. Now, Daytona, obviously, big wild card there. Those other 3, is there one that you've got circled as your kind of your opportunity race? This is where I know I'm good at. This is the track I like. Is there one of those 3 in there that you can call your shot on?
Well, yeah, we'll definitely take Watkins Glen out of the mix, but I actually feel pretty good at the other 3. I mean, everyone runs well at super speedways, but I do really enjoy those races. And you know, try to find my way to the front there. But Richmond and Iowa, it's hard to pick between those 2. I like both of them. I'd feel a lot better if we were racing at Martinsville near the end. That's probably my favorite short track. But nonetheless, you know, I had a late start to the season here. Didn't know if I'd get out of triple-digit land, but I I just graduated to that 2 weeks ago. And yeah, as you said, it's been a big help to be able to qualify and, you know, kind of run up front, stay out of that dirty air as best as possible, and just really, really happy with P2 here tonight.
Well, I tell you, it's been fun watching you progress and getting rid of that number and being up front here. So I got a feeling you're going to continue to be up front. So I'm sure we will talk again before the end of the season. So anybody you want to get a quick shout out to here for your podium here tonight?
Yeah. First and foremost, appreciate the opportunity for that. Want to give a shout out to my beautiful wife, Sarah, who's been anxiously waiting for me to get an interview in a broadcast race. So finally happened here tonight. And want to also give a shout out to one of my other guys on the track, Andy Thomas. As you saw, I'm showing the 12 on the side of the car now. He was extremely generous and traded me the 06 for the 12, one of my old racing numbers. Appreciate his kindness in doing that. Also want to give a shout out to my brother Aaron, whose birthday was just the other day, and my father Bruce, and my nieces and nephews will be watching the broadcasts on Virtual Grip Network, and of course my teammates at Team Miata, Josh, Tom, Dan, Brian, and Mark. And got to give a shout out to the boys at Storm Motorsports. Great call as always. I'm sure can't wait to watch the race on Virtual Grip Network, and we'll see you boys next week.
Well, that's awesome. We wish the Medlin family all the best. We hope you enjoyed the show. And yes, Andrew was able to come home on the podium. So I expect before too long it won't be one more step up on that podium. But fun to talk to you, Andrew, and we'll see you next week.
That's the goal, boys. Take care. Have a good one.
Yep. All right, Zach, you got the big time winner, the guy kissing the bricks.
Yeah, we got to keep Sarah happy. We may have to start bringing Andrew up for more mid-race interviews. She might get a little jealous because we brought the trash man up twice tonight during the race, just with all that he did, and now he's back here for the 3rd time. Daniel, you get to kiss the bricks, man. How are we feeling?
I'll be honest, I'm feeling pretty good for a track that I don't always feel super comfortable at. To get a win here is pretty meaningful.
I think you told us you weren't that good here in the first interview. Maybe were your exact words. So, you know, you got to change that because, I mean, we talk about every week, man, on these broadcasts, how good you guys are and just the talent throughout this field. I mean, you understand what you just did. I mean, you drove by all those guys. I mean, yeah, you got a little luck. A couple guys got taken out here and there. But, I mean, Daniel, this is the most impressive run we saw this season.
Well, I appreciate that. I wouldn't say it was impressive because I got myself there to start with, but you know, this league is difficult, and you know, and I've worked really, really hard, really learning how to pass here, you know, and it's at every track. That's my main goal, is trying to figure out how to pass people, because especially with these new tires and the dirty air, it's a lot more difficult than it used to be. And so I'm setting passes up usually 2 to 3 laps in advance just to try to see if I can get around people, and the talent here is obviously, I mean, even our slow guys are still pretty darn quick, and they're still really good. And so it's tough, and it means a lot when I can do this, but I'd really rather not have to do it coming all the way from the back.
No, obviously, a couple races to go here, but I mean, every win helps give you that little bit of buffer in the points. I mean, you're going to jump a couple guys here for sure. Well, I guess maybe not, because you're at the top of the one win, but still, it puts you in the Ogle and Nelson territory. Are there any more tracks coming up? I mean, we got Iowa next week. You think we can knock another maybe 1 or 2 out here before we roll into the playoffs?
I don't know. I really like Watkins. I've raced really good there, but Andrew is a whole nother level on road course, and so is Courtney. So I'm not really too sure I could get one there, but I've raced good at Iowa before, but I've also had really bad luck at Iowa. So, it's hard to say. I'm just coming out here every week just trying to learn and get better and better, because it's what it's going to take to beat the Joshes, the Andrews, the Courtneys, the Toms, the Dwaynes, all these guys that are super fast. It's going to take everything you got to win a championship from these dudes.
Well, I'll tell you what, man, you gave it that and then some. After that spin to drive back up to the lead, and then I didn't even touch on, I don't know if you noticed, but you had the fastest lap of the race with about 7 laps to go. I mean, you absolutely turned it on. So congratulations, Daniel. Celebrate good tonight, man. Who you want to thank on the big win?
Everybody over at Team Miata, Josh, Tom, Brian Lynch, Andrew Medlin, Mark Fish. All the info we share back and forth really helps out a ton to be able to turn these fast laps. Shout out also to the admins and our sponsors that make this league a great place to come to. You guys for your broadcasting and your podcast. I mean, it's fantastic. And a shout out to my wife, because without her, I wouldn't be doing this. So, yeah.
Smart man. Getting the wife at the end. Congratulations, Daniel. Can't wait to talk to you again, man. And good luck when we roll into Iowa.
Yeah, thanks a lot, buddy.
Well, John, I said it to him there. Arguably the best drive we've seen out of a driver this season. And, man, as we roll into Iowa next week, I don't know what more we can ask for these guys. This has been a fun ride.
Yeah, it's been a heck of a season so far, and for Zach and myself, it's been such a great opportunity to call these races and everything else. But real quick, we got a lot of stuff yet. You enjoyed tonight. There's a lot of stuff coming up this week. You can tune in, and this is the one I'm really looking forward to, everybody. Thursday night at 8 o'clock, check out VGN, because they're going to take the SKs there in that Skitter Creek modified series. They are going to take those modifieds and they're going to take them to Watkins Glen. That is going to be phenomenal to watch those guys turn right and left. But they're going to take the tour mods. So I shouldn't even say the SKs, even though it's an SK series. But it's one of the few times that they're going to pull the tour mods out and run that track. So I cannot wait to see that. Myrtle Beach will be Saturday night. The Bootleg Racing Series or Late Model Series will go out there, watch and see who can avoid the turtles over there in turns 1 and 2. That should always be a good show. And then these guys, every week we say it's a great show. We're going to go short track racing. We're going to go to the Iowa Speedway in Newton, Iowa. There, they can right off Interstate 80 there. So that'll be a great show. Short track racing, a lot of lines, a lot of different opportunities for guys there. Here we saw it being difficult with kind of a one-line track, one groove track. Iowa, you're going to be able to run a couple of them, I got a feeling. So, but and also I want to remind you the podcast comes out Tuesday. Subscribe to VGN here while you're here, and it'll pop up and remind you. This week's guest was on the track here tonight, Andy Thomas. It was a great conversation. We talked race strategy, so come check it out. Encourage you to leave your messages on there and things like that. So until then, thank you for tuning in, and we will see you again next week.